Hello, welcome. In this video, we're going to look at animal movement. Let's start right now. So there are many reasons why animals have to move. Here are some examples. To find food, right? They have to move to find food. They have to move and escape or run away from dangerous things like predators, big animals that can eat them. They also have to find their homes or shelter, and also to find mates so that they can reproduce. So these are important reasons for animals to move. Now let's talk about some animals and how they move. Let's start first with the earthworm. So earthworms move very slowly. Okay, they move quite slowly. You can see in this video, very slowly. And how do they move? They use two muscles, which are called circular muscles. Okay, circular because it's a circle around the animal like this. You can see in this part is a circular muscle, and longitudinal muscle from the word long. Okay, longitudinal muscle. They are long and along the body of the earthworm. So these are the two muscles that can contract and relax to make the organism move, the earthworm move. But the earthworm also has a hair-like structure. Looks like the hair on the body. Okay, we call them the setae. And the setae helps to hold the earthworm to the ground so that it can move. Now let's look at how it moves. So if the earthworm is like this rubber band, I'm going to use this to try to explain. If the earthworm wants to move, first it will put the setae onto the soil or onto the ground to hold it. Second, the circular muscle will contract. Okay, it's going to contract. And third, the longitudinal muscle will contract too. So the circular muscle contracts and makes this part of the earthworm longer, and the longitudinal muscle will contract to make it shorter. So when they do that, this will move the earthworm a little forward, and this will repeat and repeat. Circular muscle contracts, longitudinal muscle contracts. Circular muscle contracts, longitudinal muscle contracts. Okay, when the circular muscle contracts, the longitudinal will relax, and when the longitudinal muscle relaxes, the circular muscle will contract. So they always switch. The next organism we're going to look at is hydra. Now, hydra lives in water and it's about 1 centimeter to 3 centimeters in size. Let's look at the structure of hydra, okay, before we talk about how it moves. It has one opening, which we call as the mouth, where it can get the food. And around the mouth, we have these structures we call tentacles. And it has different parts, but I want you to look at this part called the foot or the pedal disc. Okay, so a mouth, tentacle, and pedal disc. Now hydra can move in amazing ways. So let's look at the first type of movement, which we call as looping. Okay, looping. So let's say this is the hydra. Okay, here are the tentacles and this is the foot. In looping, the hydra is going to bend down like this, and it is going to push the foot to join their tentacles, just like this. And then it is going to, you can say, stand up like that. Again, let me show you. So in looping, the hydra will bend the body like this, so the tentacle is on the ground, and next is going to push the foot to join the tentacle, and then it can stand up. Okay, Next, we have somersault. In somersault, the hydra is going to bend down like this. The body will look like this. Next is going to lift the foot up, and it will put the foot down and lift the tentacle part up, the mouth area up. And this will repeat and repeat, repeat and repeat, and the hydra can move forward. Next, the hydra can also float in water. How does it float? It makes gas bubbles near the foot or the pedal disc. These gas bubbles help it to float in water. Sometimes hydra can actually walk, okay, with the tentacles, just like you can see in this picture. It can move forward with the tentacles too, and it can also climb small leaves, like we can see in this picture. The next group of organisms we're going to look at are sponges. Sponges are animals that live in water. You can see in this picture they live under the ocean. And you might be thinking, wait, teacher, this does not look like an animal. It looks like a plant. Yes, but it is an animal. Okay, and we call them sponges. They're very important for the environment in the ocean. Now, they are animals that filter or pump water through their bodies. They are small holes on their bodies, and they pump the water into their bodies like that. And then when the water is in their body, in the space in their body, they will push it out. So you can see in this short video, they are pumping the yellow color into their body and then out. Now, sponges do not move from one place to another place, but some cells in their bodies can move. So let's look at the type of cells in their bodies. So if you look on the inside of their bodies, we have these cells. If you zoom into one, they look just like this. We call them choanocytes. And these choanocytes have little tails, which we call as flagella. And the flagella can move. And when they move, they help the water to move out of the body. And they also help to catch the food which is in the water so that it can get food. So these are what? Choanocytes. Now, behind the choanocytes, we have another type of cell we call amoebocyte, from the word amoeba, because they look like amoeba. And amoebocytes help to digest the food and also to release waste, and also helps in asexual reproduction for sponges. Now, sponges have endoskeleton. It means their skeletons are inside their body. Let me show you. So if you look right here, we have the choanocytes, and behind the choanocyte is green structure that look like the stars. These are called spicules. And spicules are made up of calcium carbonate. They're very hard. They stay inside the body of the earthworm and form their skeleton, their endoskeleton, to give them support. Okay, they come in many different shapes and styles. So some of them look like this, some spicules look like that. Okay, the different shapes, but they all help to form the endoskeleton inside the sponges. The next group of organisms we're going to look at are jellyfish. So jellyfish, of course, live in water, and the shape is usually called as a bell shape. So they have a bell-shaped structure. The shape looks like what? The bell. Let's look at the structure of jellyfish before we look at how they move. Okay, so it has one opening, which is the mouth over here, and around the mouth we have tentacles. The tentacles help to catch food or to capture food, which is put inside the mouth. Now, the mouth also is very important because it can pump water outside. Water can go into the mouth and then into the body, and the water can also come out of the mouth. The arms, these structures here are called the arms, and they help to move the food into the mouth. Now let's look at how jellyfishes move. First, the body can contract and relax, as you can see in this picture. And when it contracts and relaxes, this will push water into the mouth of the jellyfish and into the body of the jellyfish. When the jellyfish wants to move, it will push the water out, through the mouth again. It is look like a jet propulsion type of movement, like if you have a jet ski and it pumps water into one side of the ski, and then the water moves out and the ski can go forward. This is how jellyfishes move, by pumping water into the body and then pumping it out of the body. Now, when jellyfishes contract and relaxes, this creates a ring of water around the body. We call this ring as the vortex ring. It's just what? A ring of water which is created when the jellyfish moves. Now, these rings, you can see in this picture, they can move in circle and then move into the body of the jellyfish and push it up. So it goes round and then into the body and pushes it up. And this is very important because it helps the jellyfish to use less energy to move. Okay, and because of this, they are very energy efficient when they move. In fact, they are the most energy efficient swimmers in the ocean.